this video, we will be discussing the factors of production. This is an important concept that you need to wrap your heads around. The factors of production are resources that are the foundations of the economy. They are things businesses use to produce goods and provide services. These factors of production can be broken into 4 categories: land, labour, capital, and enterprise. Before we look at each of these important factors, let's introduce this video's main example. This is Freddie, who works at Joe's Pizza in Manchester. Joe's has been around for nearly 20 years, and Freddie has been delivering pizzas to their customers for the past 6 months. Joe's popularity with locals is due to them only using the freshest ingredients and their prompt delivery service. They are considered one of the best pizza places in the city and successfully compete with some of the other major players, such as Domino's and Papa John's. So back to our factors of production. The first of these production factors is land, but you need to keep in mind that this also includes any natural resource used in the production of these goods and services. So anything that comes from the land. Some examples would be copper, natural gas, coal, water, oil, and lumber. For our example of Joe's, the land resources include the physical land on which the pizza shop stands, but also raw materials used in the production process. So these would be the ingredients for Joe's pizzas. These include the flour, yeast, and water for the dough, the tomatoes, herbs, and water for the sauce, the cheese, and the multiple toppings. Joe uses a wood-burning oven, so we would include the wood as a raw material, as a land resource. If instead of pizza, we were looking at an agricultural product, like for example cotton farming, we would also include the land the farmer used for growing his crops and any raw materials they used to harvest these crops. These land resources can be renewable, meaning once we've used them, we can use them again, such as forests. Even after we've chopped down trees, we can still use the land to grow more. Or they could be non-renewable, such as oil or natural gas. Once it's gone, it's gone. To all the teachers out there, show all of these videos without any ads and gain access to our growing library of over 500 teaching worksheets. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? On to the second factor of production, which is labour. So what even is labour? This is the effort that people contribute to the production of goods and services. Labour resources include the work done by the waitress who brings your food at a local restaurant, as well as the engineer who designed the train that transports you to school. It includes an artist's creation of a painting, as well as the work of the pilot flying the aeroplane overhead. If you have ever been paid for a job, you have contributed labour resources to the production of goods or services. The income earned by labour resources is called a wage, or a salary, and is the largest source of income for most people. When we talk about production, labour means human effort, both physical and mental. So in our example of Joe's Pizza, Freddie is the example of labour here. He needs to be strong enough to roll out the dough and to insert and retrieve the pizza from the oven. But he also needs to know how to make the pizza, how long to cook it in the oven, and a range of other crucial aspects of pizza making. At Joe's, they also have other staff to work the counter, take orders, and receive payments. These are all examples of labour, any human being that does a task to keep Joe's up and running. Bring this video and over 100 more to life with fun, interactive games, quizzes, and case studies. Why not try the first 25 completely free by visiting BizzWizard.co.uk. Now, the third factor of production is capital. But you need to stick with me here, as this key term can be a little confusing. In other videos, we will refer to capital in a monetary sense. The owner's capital, the owner's money. The bank's capital, the bank's money. But when we are talking about the factors of production, capital means a slightly different thing. In this sense, capital is anything that increases your ability to generate value. So think of capital as the machinery, tools and buildings that are used by humans to produce goods and provide services. Some common examples of capital include hammers, forklifts, conveyor belts, computers and delivery vans. Capital is different depending on the worker and the type of work being done. For example, a doctor may use a stethoscope and an examination room to provide medical services. Your teacher may use textbooks, desks, and a whiteboard to produce their lessons. In the case of Joe's, the capital includes the pizza boxes, the oven, the building, and any other necessary equipment. For example, even tables and chairs. Anything used by Joe or Joe's staff, like Freddie, to add value to the pizza place. The fourth and final factor of production is enterprise. An entrepreneur is a person who combines the other factors of production, land, labour, and capital, to earn a profit. The most successful entrepreneurs are innovators who find new ways to produce goods and services, to offer something in a new way for an improved purpose. Without the entrepreneur combining land, labour and capital in new ways, many of the innovations we see around us would not exist. Joe is a great example of an entrepreneur. He uses all of these other factors of production along with his enterprising abilities to run a successful business. He is able to generate profit by taking more sales revenue than he is spending on his costs. Let's not forget he is also able to provide jobs so his employees can support their own families. You will notice that I did not include money as a factor of production. You might ask, isn't money a type of capital? Money is not capital as we define it in this sense, because it is not a productive resource. While money can be used to buy capital, it is the capital goods, things such as machinery and tools that are used to produce goods and provide services, that we mean here. When was the last time you saw a carpenter pounding in a nail with a £10 note, or a warehouse foreman lifting a pallet with a 20p piece? Money only facilitates trade, but it is not in itself a productive resource. You need to remember these factors of production we have discussed are scarce resources. So what do I mean when I say scarce? Well, scarcity is described as limited quantities of resources to meet unlimited wants. Consider a pair of denim blue jeans. The denim is made of cotton, grown on the land. The land and water used to grow the cotton is limited and could have been used to grow a variety of different crops. The workers who cut and sewed the denim in the factory are limited labour resources who could have been producing other goods or services in the economy. The machines and factory used to produce the jeans are limited capital resources that could have been used to produce other goods or provide other services. So this scarcity of resources means that producing some goods and services leaves other goods and services, well, not produced. Each of the video courses over at BizzWizard.co.uk also includes an interactive business case study that applies the knowledge learned to a real-world scenario. There are over 1,000 multiple-choice questions, each with detailed feedback, which tests students' understanding of the content. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? This brings us nicely to opportunity cost. So what is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is the value of something you do not get when a particular course of action is chosen. Simply put, the opportunity cost is what you must lose out on in order to get something. The benefit or value that was given up can refer to decisions in your personal life, in a business, in the economy, in the environment, or even at a government level. Here are some examples to hopefully help you understand. Someone gives up going to see a movie that they have already paid for to study for an important test. The opportunity cost is the cost of the ticket to the movie and the enjoyment of actually seeing it. At the ice cream shop, you have to choose between Rocky Road and Strawberry. When you choose Rocky Road, the opportunity cost is the enjoyment of the strawberry ice cream. You don't get to have this because you didn't choose strawberry, so that was the cost. It is really important to remember that in business, there is pretty much always an opportunity cost. Send your employees on training, the opportunity cost is that they are not at work to do their job. Spend profits on increasing advertising, and you didn't spend the profit on improving your product's quality. This is again the opportunity cost. So all of these factors of production are scarce, and there will always be an opportunity cost when we use them for a particular purpose. You might be thinking, which of these is the most important factor? There is simply no straight answer to this question. All of these factors of production are extremely important. No product can be made without raw materials, land resources. These materials can't be extracted, refined, and transformed without people working on them. Labour. Those people can't accomplish their work without tools and equipment. As we know, this is capital. And finally, an entrepreneur must combine all of the above factors in new and exciting ways if they ever hope to be successful. Until next time, this has been the BizzWizard. See you in the next video.